The IRS is looking to downsize. The IRS is going to be cutting 45,000 jobs. I mean, remember Biden had to add 80,000 of those guys? They thought that somehow that was the answer. Oh my gosh, I remember when Janet Yellen actually wanted to get into your bank account if you had more than $600 in transactions, right? She wanted the IRS to have access to bank accounts with more than $600 in transactions because somehow, miraculously, these guys thought that that was going to catch all the big fish tax evaders. I'm like, really? $600 you make and Janet Yellen and the IRS want to come after you? Well, I think Donald Trump has a little bit of a thing with the IRS. And a lot of people in the conservative party are kind of like, IRS, we're still not over Lois Lerner, and targeting of Tea Party activists by the IRS during the Obama administration. So we prefer a slimmer, leaner, meaner IRS. And as a result of that, we have learned that the IRS is going to begin massive firings. Secretary Bessent, Treasury Secretary of the United States, brilliant guy, by the way. I know a lot of people who have worked very closely with him in financial transactions. They think he's one of the smartest people in finance. So it's really good that we have him there. And Donald Trump, I guess one of the first questions that he pushed on him was, how can we enact tariffs, bring down this global trade deficit while simultaneously managing inflation? Not an easy thing to do, right? And so he really needed the brain power, if you would, of one Scott Bessent to come in and take the bull by the horns. Anyway, Scott was on CNBC this morning, another network I used to work at, and he was asked about these firings, and I want you to hear what he said to justify that, we really don't need that many people at the IRS. We kind of functioned for a couple centuries without them and did just fine. Here we go.
Can I just ask you about the IRS? It's the largest bureau of the Treasury Department, and DOJ has come up with a plan to cut about half of the 90,000 workers there, about 45,000. The president was very clear this week that it's the secretaries who run the departments, not DOJ. I just wonder if you agree with a cut of that size, particularly when there have been points raised and studies done that suggest that for every dollar that the IRS spends on enforcement and trying to go after bringing in revenue, brings in about $5 to $12.
Yeah, I'm not sure where this cutting half the employees came from. Yeah. What we did was there were 15,000 new employees. We did an evaluation. We kept about half. The ones that, Becky, to your point, were deemed essential to collections. Mm-hmm. Somehow the other 7,000, United States of America, collected taxes for 250 years without them. And look, this is playoff season for us. That game day is April 15th, and I have three priorities with the IRS: the collections, privacy, and customer service, in that order. So there's nothing I'm going to do to hurt the collections. Over time, we are in the midst of this great AI boom, and I think increasing headcount now would be just the wrong time, as the private corporations are moving into AI, and I can't think of a better application for AI than auditing tax returns.
How are tax returns this year so far?
We don't have the data about. The other thing, too, is when you ask about physical employees, 90% of the filing is now done online.
Yeah.
So guess what? You've been replaced. Sorry, IRS workers, you've been replaced. And Donald Trump's all about saving money wherever he can. Heck, the guy's getting rid of the penny. Now, that's controversial, right? But if it costs you 3 cents to make a penny, maybe that's not, economically speaking, the best use of one's money. So it's a new day. It is a new era. There's going to be lots of opportunities. I'm not kidding. I firmly believe in this policy, and I think there will be winners. We talked about a winner in yesterday's edition of the 76 report. I'm celebrating my anniversary. We can make it my anniversary month, right? It's actually technically the anniversary week and day. Check these out. Go look at all of these, you guys. Lots of good stuff.